Hey, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. Good day. We'll probably break this up into 3 or 4 parts. It's over an hour and a half long. So probably 4 or 5 parts, maybe 30 minutes each with some commentary. Here goes. This has had over 1 million views.
Theorists all over YouTube, all over Facebook. But then when I see your content, it's not that crazy, but they take you down. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because the COVID-19 conspiracy question mark videos that we started putting out there, it was a question. I wasn't trying to introduce a thought process in anybody's head. I wasn't trying to make them think a certain way. I just asked a question, just recently released, and that was self-empowerment. And we've got 2 more coming out. So those videos, people can't see them anymore, but they are, I'm going to give people the reference where they can go and they can download it. I don't want you to just go and watch them now. I want you to download them.
Because I got him called. So he's had 7 videos and they've taken 5 of them down. And he talks about how self-empowerment, the agenda, other things, it's just insane what's going on.
Censorship is a major issue. And, we'll talk about that, Brad, in a second, if that's where you want to go. Wherever you want to go, I'm going to go. But I'll tell you right now, from my standpoint, censorship is the biggest problem in the entire world right now. They're preventing.
Censorship is the biggest problem in the world right now.
Absolutely. I, in fact, appreciate anybody that's doing that. There have been a couple of people.
Okay, let's.
People with 6-7 million followers that on YouTube, and they've taken an hour-long video and they've made it into a much more beautiful, succinct version, getting the information out there. And people have done their different versions. I don't care about it. I would appreciate if they put a link back to our YouTube channel, but this is about information, to get more information out there. So anybody that wants to do that, they're welcome to do that. I just want to get the truth out there because we have an unbelievable opportunity, Brad, right now. And when I say we, I mean the planet. I mean the citizens of the planet. Everything that has happened over the last 60, 70 years, and if you really want to look at it over the last few hundred years, but if you really, really want to look at it, this goes back thousands of years. It's been misinformation upon misinformation. It's always been divide and conquer. It's democracy.
Maybe that's why it doesn't. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say that we are all in the same boat as a human species, and more the agenda of dividing us and then conquering us is becoming evident. And
out something else. Now,
let me just, if I can just respond to that.
Sure.
It is extremely deadly, and it's going to kill a lot of people, but it's not the COVID-19.
Well, that's what's coming, correct?
Correct.
Right, and I want to talk about that, but man, I got so many questions. We could be on here for like 7 days, so I'm trying to think through now. The thing you're talking about that said we'll get this banned if we mention the 2 letter, the number and the letter. I'm going to say it rhymes with jive free. Okay, it rhymes with jive free. If you look at the top right of your phone, it probably says it in the top right hand of your phone in the corner. So this is what I keep hearing. They're running around with all these jive-free towers, and they want us in our house so they can erect these towers. Do you think that's got any semblance of truth?
Absolutely.
So they're saying get in your houses so people can erect towers that we don't notice. Like I wouldn't have cared if they were erecting a tower, nor would I have known that it was a jive-free tower. Well,
neither would I have been aware of it, and I wouldn't have cared either, except the fact that there's 2,000 studies that have been done to show the detrimental effects of this technology. And the technology itself has been talked about for a number of years, but it hasn't been rolled out. Even the stuff that's here in the States, when you see it on your phone, it's not it's more a marketing component. They haven't really started rolling out this on a mass scale. They did in Wuhan, they did in Italy, they did in Iran. They have some of this in New York. They have some of this in California. They have some of it in fragmented areas, but they haven't rolled it all out. In fact, in Wuhan, they only had 2,000 of the 13,000 or 14,000, however many towers they had. They only had 2,000 of those towers that were turned on, and they turned them on in December of 2019. Now, lest anybody misunderstands, there's some people that are out there saying that this technology caused COVID-19. No, it didn't cause it. But think of this as the 3-pronged stool, all right? You've got an issue of toxicity. You've got an issue of change in the radio frequency electromagnetic fields that are being generated, which is what this technology falls under. And then you've got a previous history of what's been done to people over the last decade under the pretense of public safety. And
Now think about these three prongs. The G5 towers electromagnetically what's doing to the body, toxicity, and then you've got a medical history of what's been done in the last several decades with people's bodies and health. And this correlates with the doctor that talked about doctors in black. So these things keep overlapping, they don't go away. So there's too much stuff going on here that they're not talking about.
And when you put those three things together, it's the perfect storm. It's like having the eggs, the flour, and the milk to make the cake. All right. If you don't have the milk, or you don't have the flour, you don't have the eggs, you can maybe make something, but it's not going to be that destructive. But you have all three, it's extremely, extremely deadly. And then what they're going to be doing, rolling out,
invincible to the same thing. Like, in other words, why would we, like, in other words, if I knew something was going to kill my neighbors, what makes me not have to deal with the same magnetic waves as everybody else? And first of all, who is they, do you think?
I think it's part and parcel of the puppet masters that control Fauci and probably control Gates, even though Gates is the front man. And, you know, this again comes back into areas that I am not that well versed in. There are many other people that have talked to me about it. I don't know how much of that is factual or not, because again, that's not my area of study. I haven't looked into that as extensively. There's a lot of interesting things. I do know that Bill Gates is a eugenist. He's believed in population control. He's been known and publicly recorded as talking about depopulation, the need for depopulation through vaccinations. His track record of the vaccines and what he's done with vaccines is it's like unbelievably atrocious. There's so many thousands of lawsuits against him in other countries, you know, India being one of them, massive number of lawsuits, the number of people in Africa that he has maimed firsthand. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's over there testing.
Wow.
He's over there testing vaccines, from what they say.
Wow. Thousands of lawsuits.
Meant to protect the doctor or the nurse.
Now we're going to get into the mask, but let me summarize what is going on with this doctor. He says there's three areas: electromagnetic with the either 3G or 5G towers, and 5G towers. This has been brought up again and again. Their lungs look like it's oxygen deprived at high elevations, yet they haven't been at high elevations. We're talking about previous toxicity and problems with shots. He mentions a ton of them. We're talking about immune systems going crazy because of these previous things. And we're talking about a history of medical problems which are going to get into immune systems and cause them to go crazy. So it's essential that we understand that this is kind of a 3 or 4 pronged project. And he hasn't even talked about the financial ramifications of this, the monetary shakedown on this, the deaths that are caused by this, the control that's caused by this, politically and economically. And we haven't talked about the abuse fully of these people from these health organizations, WHO, CDC. They're all working together. We haven't talked about how they've been stringing these things fully, stringing these shots together to cause us to get to this situation where we're in a perfect storm, electromagnetically, medically, and immune system wise, to cause illness and death. Now, he's indicated that they've kept their systems cleaner, they've taken better shots, or they haven't taken shots, and they have probably been, he hasn't talked about them not being around some of these towers or in places where they don't have the towers. And So you're seeing several of these combinations work together into a deadly medical situation. And again, he hasn't talked about any of the political control, any of the economical problems. Hasn't talked about the medical people being paid to lie on their certificates yet. So, I mean, there are serious problems, and this is worldwide. Worldwide. We're going to end it here. It's about 23 minutes. But go back and look at some of the other videos I've come out with. There's too many overlapping factors that are not being talked about. And this is worldwide. Good day.